delivering unrivaled live coverage. This is Sky News, Australia's news channel.
This hour, Fairfax to cut thousands of jobs and reduce the size of its major newspapers.
Fairfax Media has announced massive job cuts and the remodelling of its major mastheads as it looks to reduce costs.
The publisher says 1,900 jobs will be cut over the next 3 years, while printing facilities in Sydney and Melbourne will be closed. There'll also be format changes to the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age. The company says they will now be published on a compact format, the same size as tabloid newspapers. Paywalls will also go up across Sydney Morning Herald and Age websites. Fairfax says the changes are a reaction to readers' behaviour and are expected to save $235 million each year from 2015.
And Sky News has reporters at the SMH in Sydney and at the Age headquarters in Melbourne. Let's start with Sky News business correspondent Carson Scott, who's at Pyrmont in Sydney at Fairfax headquarters there. Carson.
Yeah, so it really is one of those stories that when you look at it, the writing has been on the wall for quite some time, particularly when you look at revenues, when you look at earnings, both falling on year. How do you stop the rot, let alone deal with those niggling issues on who should be round the boardroom table? This is, of course, involving one of the world's richest individuals, Gina Rinehart. We'll get to that in a moment, but I've got the media economist Peter Cox with me for his reaction. Peter, welcome. You're on Sky News, of course. Tell me, really, whether you saw this coming, how significant is it in terms of the job cuts and that stopping the rot?
Well, I've certainly seen it coming. I've been lecturing on this since 2008, that the model was broken. What we're seeing today is we're seeing the staff, and particularly the journalists and the readers, paying the price for a board that has been asleep at the wheel for the last 5 to 10 years.
Who ultimately is answerable when it comes to that?
Well, obviously the chairman, not the people who are writing the stories. That's a ridiculous argument. It's the chairman and the board who have made a series of wrong strategic decisions over the last 5 years, as I say, that have brought about the downfall of Fairfax.
It's one of those fast-moving industries. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. You can say that now. Did you say it then?
Absolutely. I lectured the industry conference, the PADPAR conference. That's a publishers' conference in 2008, where I said the model is broken. I got very fierce reaction from the floor. No, the model's not broken. Rupert Murdoch came along less than a year later and said the model is broken. We have to do something.
If digital is the way to go, Peter, and the problem being you have now a key shareholder who wants to be on the board, she's also Gina Rinehart on Network 10's board. That's conflict of interest.
Oh, look, I'm sure that if she was to take a major position in Fairfax, she'd probably step back from the Channel 10 position. The fact is that even if she got 2 board seats, that would be only 2 out of 8. And as the chairman is appointed to the other positions, she wouldn't get much of an influence on the board with only 2 out of 8.
But if the model is broken, why come on this board? Why not just go with 10?
Well, that's up to Gina, of course, but she's got her own motivations, presumably, as to why she wants to be in newspapers. She's the one who's, as she calls it, has put the skin in there, a couple of $100 million. She's going to be down $100 million at least on this. She's got a lot more invested than what the board has.
The shares have gone up today. That suggests the market is applauding this move. It's got some faith that it will actually work.
The share market always likes it when you say you're going to cut staff and cut costs, and they've given it about a 4% increase this morning, 2.5 cents or so.
You're incredibly cynical over the legacy issue of the printing presses saying, what legacy issue, right?
Well, the legacy is unbelievable. They're talking about legacy of printing plants. These printing plants are the most advanced in the world. They just built them in the last 5 years, and they're now saying, oh, gee, we shouldn't have built those printing presses. We need to close them down.
Paywalls, are they the answer? They've said the SMH, the Age are going there. Is that sort of after the horse is bolted?
Well, the paywall argument is not a $1 million question. This is a $1 billion question for the industry all over the world. How do they get this? This is an organisation that crucified themselves by putting up all their news for free. And now they wonder why it's bitten them on the bum, if you like, and all these years later.
Well, is the content going to actually wow the readers?
Well, you know, the content is news. News is always going to be there for the reader, right? It's not like, have you made a hit television show? So I'm not worried about the content. The content will be there in digital form. The question is, can they make a commercial viability out of providing it in a digital format.
Why keep the mastheads at all in hard copy form? Why go with that? It's dead.
Well, I think that's an excellent question. And of course, one of the things we don't get to see is the financial models. The board never makes the models available for us to see whether this can work or not.
Peter, we're going to have to leave it there because we've got Melbourne to worry about as well, but thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.